What is going on, everybody? My name is Nico and welcome back to another Wonderlands video. Today I want to talk about pet builds because these are super popular, super common, and very powerful. And there's a couple different ways to do it, but today I mainly want to break down the different styles of companion guns and companion damage, mainly because it is a bit confusing. Now, there is a chart that I will throw up periodically throughout the video that I did not come up with. It is all credit to Catchins, I believe is how it's pronounced, but this is really breaking down the different styles of guns and how they work based on the build you are running. So we're going to get into it here. If this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subbed for more Wonderlands content from me, but here we go. So the big thing is getting the most damage you can out of your companion. So companion damage is just super big. As you can see, I have rings that have it, my armor gives it, you know, different things of that nature are going to put out more companion damage. But then there's also weapons that will increase the number of companions you have for certain characters like Graveborns, which benefit from faithful thralls, that are going to allow you to have increased damage based on the number of companions that you have available. But then also just what types of damage those particular companions are going to be doing, because it does vary depending on the gun type and the companion type that you are using. So there are three main types that you're going to see. First is the pixie that you can see here. And these are interesting because none of them actually activate for a faithful thrall. So you're not going to gain any stacks for using the pixie gun. And I'll show you here what that looks like. You go ahead and throw that out and it's just going to start doing damage for you. But again, they are not going to be doing any damage based on faithful thralls. They're not going to increase those stacks. They also all scale off of spell damage. They all scale off spell damage unless you are using a magic shotgun with pixies. For whatever reason, magic shotguns with pixies do gun damage. But other than that, you're going to be doing spell damage and spell crit with these particular pixies, unless, like I said, you're using that magic shotgun. Next up, we have our hydras, and these are super common. You're going to be able to throw these down, and these are just going to do damage left, right, and center. And these do stack for your faithful thralls. All of these, except for the pellet shotguns, are going to scale off of weapon damage or gun damage, which is super nice. For whatever reason, the pellet shotguns are going to scale off of spell damage instead. Also, if you're using the Fragmented Rain legendary SMG, that is also going to have a scaling effect based on spell damage for hydras. But if you're running anything else, that is going to be your gun damage. Also, gun crit. Finally, we have our guns with wings, and these are going to scale off of your gun damage. As you can see, I'm just tossing them out and they're going to fly around, and these do stack with your faithful thralls. But these are really nice to have. Now, there is a limit on how many of these you can have out at a time versus like the hydras. You can have 10 or so of those out at a time. So that's just something you kind of got to be aware of when you're throwing these out and trying to build up faithful thrall stacks if you are playing a Graveborn companion build. Then there are other weapon types that are just shooting out different companions. For example, I have the legendary rogue imp of alarm here, and when I shoot this, it shoots off little wyverns, and those are based on companion damage. They don't stack for your faithful thralls, but they do increase companion damage, so that's definitely a way to get some extra damage off without having to throw down a bunch of companions like you would if you're running a faithful thrall build. Now, it's not just the weapon types that are going to be giving you different companions. You can also get spells. As you can see, I have a spell here that summons hydras. It has a 2 charge, so I can have 2 extra stacks on my faithful thrall come out. This is super nice as well. These are more specifically for people running the faithful thrall sets. Unless you're running a Graveborn, it's not really worth carrying those extra because you don't need the extra stacks to get the extra damage. It's more or less just for those particular builds with the Graveborn and the faithful thrall. Now, ways you can go about increasing your damage on based on like enchantments and stuff are things like this. So while action skill is active, increase companion damage by 50%. That is super nice to have, especially on builds that are running things like blizzards or like abilities. If you're running a spell shot and you're running 2 spells to have a companion build, that may not be the best route. But there are other things as well, especially for these guns. This enchantment is a perfect example. After reloading, gain 50% companion critical hit chance. That is huge, and it's super big for many of these guns. So I personally just throw it on all of my companion guns just because I want to have it every time I reload with that gun. I want to be resetting that and doing as much damage as I possibly can. I know the damages and the enchantments don't stack, but they only work if you have that particular gun out, so I want to make sure I have it on all the guns, so that way every time I'm reloading, no matter what gun I'm using, my companions are going to be getting that bonus crit chance. Now that's really all there is to it. There's a ton that you can learn in terms of companion builds, ton of different weapon varieties, different element types and stuff that you can do, but it's really just about breaking down that chart and kind of figuring out how you're going to be scaling your particular companions and what you're going to be using. Obviously you want to have Graveborn, Spore Warden, or Clawbringer in one of these because you do want the extra companions that are doing that particular damage type, so that's really important if you are running a companion build. Just make sure you have one of those classes, if not two of those classes. That way you are having companions that are going to do it. You're not relying solely on your gun companions. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys. It was more or less just a quick breakdown on how pet builds work in Wonderlands and how you're going to be able to make a really fun, really strong build for yourself. But like I said, that's going to be it for this video. And if you found it entertaining and helpful, make sure you leave a like and smash that subscribe button for more Wonderlands content from me in the future. But like I said, that is it. And I hope to see you all in the next video.